I talked about this before, but 4 days ago, Elon Musk replied, "You have said the actual truth," in response to a Twitter post that is essentially pushing the Jewish question. Again, it's the third time that I've shown it on stream, but essentially this guy says Jewish communities push hate against white people and then expect us to like them back. And Elon Musk replied, "You have said the actual truth." I think this is a pretty significant turn in Elon Musk's desperate, pathetic, low IQ, far-right radicalization, because while he has agreed with anti-Semitic stuff before, it's usually like by implication, whereas this is just directly the Jewish question. It's not euphemized in any way. It's just the Jewish question, right? So that has led to a pretty massive blowback. There was a Media Matters article on the subject, and as a consequence of that, a bunch of major advertisers have fled the site. Now, as you know, Twitter was already suffering major advertiser loss and has not managed to recover it, but now it's gotten a lot worse. The high-profile advertiser revolt includes some of the world's largest media companies: Disney, Paramount, NBC Universal, Comcast, Lionsgate, Warner Bros., and Apple. There are others too, but like, Jesus Christ. That's like the whole world. IBM as well. Like a lot. Like it's like bleeding out. Again, the whole reason Elon Musk appointed a CEO of Twitter was to avoid shit like this, to like try to shore up the optics of the site to avoid any more advertiser bleed out. But he can't help himself. He can't help himself. He just has to post Nazi propaganda. You know, he can't help himself. So Apple was the biggest advertising buyer, and they accounted for 4% of all revenue for Twitter. 4%? 4%. All of them alone, 4%? That's insane. That's insane. That's insane. So the bleeding continues. And as a consequence of the bleeding, okay, so Elon Musk has an idea. Are you ready, guys? Okay. It's a bit wordy, but we have to go over it. The split-second court opens on Monday. That's tomorrow. Twitter will be filing a thermonuclear lawsuit, that's a professional term, against Media Matters and all those who colluded in this fraudulent attack on our company. And then Elon Musk posted 2 images. And as far as I can tell, these images are literally screen caps of like a Microsoft Word document that he or somebody in his office typed up, including right here, suggested rephrasing, you know, like the dotted underline, like they just typed this up. Like it's not like a formal document in any way, shape, or form. They just, yeah, you can see the cursor right here. Okay. So already the highest degree of professionalism is being employed here. All right. Thermonuclear lawsuits coming out so hot and fast that, you know, you're just screen capping the document. Hot and fast, like a thermonuclear explosion. So anyway, let's take a look at this document, huh? Stand with Twitter to protect free speech. This week, Media Matters for America posted a story that completely misrepresented the real user experience on Twitter in another attempt to undermine freedom of speech and mislead advertisers. So yes, let's get this off the table, like right as it begins. He is suing a media analysis company for a report in order to protect free speech. So this is suing a company for their speech to protect free speech. Right. Okay. So yes, there you go. Above everything, including profit, Twitter works to protect the public's right to free speech. Banned Juniper 5 times, by the way. But for speech to be truly free, we must also have the freedom to see or hear things other people may consider objectionable, like the owner of the website agreeing with the Nazi posting about the Jewish question. We believe that everyone has the right to make up their own minds about what to read, watch, or listen to, because that's the power of freedom of speech. The fact that Twitter hasn't gotten banned in the EU yet is genuinely insane. I have no idea why they haven't pulled that trigger yet. This is the most violating the EU laws on social media I've ever seen. Despite our clear and consistent position, Twitter has seen a number of attacks from activist groups like Media Matters and legacy media outlets who seek to undermine freedom of expression on our platform because they perceive it as a threat to their ideological narrative and those of their financial supporters. These groups try to use their influence to attack our revenue streams by deceiving advertisers on Twitter. Here are the facts on Media Matters research. To manipulate the public and advertisers. Oh, by the way, I should say, for those of you who don't know, Normally, when you're planning to drop a massive lawsuit against a company, you don't preempt the lawsuit by typing up on Microsoft Word a document where you say what you're mad about. Normally, you have your lawyers draft the lawsuit and then file it in court. This is considering Elon Musk is almost entirely motivated by his desire to make people like him. It does make sense that he would try to do this, but Media Matters created an alternate account and curated the posts and advertising appearing on the account's timeline to misinform advertisers about the placement of their posts. These contrived experiences could be applied to any platform. So, in this first bullet point right here, he is saying that Media Matters, in their expose on the content on Twitter, made an account and then from that account had like Nazi shit show up on it. Lawsuit material. Once they curated their feed, they repeatedly refreshed their timelines to find a rare instance of ads serving next to the content they chose to follow. Our logs indicate they forced a scenario resulting in 13 times the number of ads served compared to the median ads served to a Twitter user. Of the 5.5 billion ad impressions on Twitter that day, less than 50 total ad impressions were served against all of the organic content featured in the Media Matters article. So I'm not going to engage with the specific numbers he's providing because this is like proprietary information he has, and there's no reason to believe he would ever tell the truth about any of this anyway. But basically what he's saying is the Media Matters article was making the argument, hey, big corporations, isn't it bad that your ads are running directly underneath literal Nazi propaganda? And these companies responded with, yes, I do think that's pretty bad, actually, as a matter of fact. I think that's not good, if you can imagine such a thing. And Elon Musk considers this deceptive because ads don't always run under Nazi material, not 100% of the time. Can we go over their article? Sure, hold on. I've only seen excerpts from it, so I know it's basic content, but I don't know how long it is. So if it's extremely long, let me see. Media Matters Twitter article. Media Matters for America. Twitter. Let's see. Here are the companies pulling ads from Twitter. Right-wing figures downplay, defend Musk's anti-Semitism. Oh, here we go. Twitter is placing ads for Amazon, NBA Mexico, NBC Universal, and others next to content with white nationalist hashtags. IBM announced yesterday it is suspending all advertising on Twitter after Media Matters reported the platform placed its ads next to content promoting Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. Oh, wait, hold on. So that was a previous one. Here we go. Twitter's been placing ads for Apple, Bravo, IBM, Oracle, and Xfinity next to pro-Nazi content. Let's do some more ignored facts about the Third Reich, brought to you by Xfinity. What people think a spiritual awakening is like versus what it's actually like. Picture of Hitler, brought to you by Apple. I shouldn't dox myself, but I feel the end of our people telling their capital T truth is coming to an end. Adolf Hitler quote, brought to you by Oracle. IBM, you guys get it. So basically what Elon Musk is saying in the opening is the only way that you could have seen this, Media Matters, would have been if you were looking at these accounts and refreshing to see which ads show up underneath them. Which obviously the answer is yes. That is how ad buys work. Yeah, the only way to see an ad from a company appear underneath any given post is to refresh when you are looking at the post. So this is, according to Elon Musk, deception which merits legal action. Obviously, this isn't deceptive. This is, in fact, the only way you could ever find any ad under anything specifically. Elon's excuse is essentially, well, this doesn't always happen. But of course, the whole point with ads showing up next to like Nazi content is that you don't even want the association. And considering the fact that these brands have withdrawn after this, after what's happened recently, I think it's a pretty clear indication that they, know the risks. Like, I like the idea of Apple, this like insanely massive corporate monolith, just sort of thinking like, oh, okay, that looks bad, and then leaving without any sort of consideration. Dude. Anyway, for one brand showcased in the article, one of its ads ran adjacent to a post 2 times that had ad was seen only by 2 users, one of which was the author of the Media Matters article. So this point right here is saying only a few people saw that ad being run next to that Nazi post. For another brand showcased in the article, 2 of its ads served adjacent to 2 posts 3 times, and that ad was only seen in that setting by 1 user, the author of the Media Matters article. Media Matters article also highlights 9 posts they believe should not be allowed on Twitter. Upon evaluation, only 1 of the 9 organic posts featured in the article violated our content policies, and we've taken action under our freedom of speech, not reach enforcement approach. I love to, in a lawsuit in which I am alleging that Media Matters is lying about me, both acknowledge that the ads that the Media Matters article referred to actually were there, but also say, yeah, we're not banning the material present there. Like, again, this is what he is literally in his statement on the lawsuit saying that Media Matters was correct, that what they described did happen, and he implicitly endorses the material present there, at least to the extent that he's not removing it. Nazi data. Here's an overall summary on all this. Twitter, I almost properly named it. Twitter will protect the public's right on free expression. We will not allow agenda-driven activists or even our own profits to deter our vision. Everyone, by the way, the Tesla shareholders have to be sweating right now as the guy who essentially like manages Tesla's public image is like, I will not let profits stand in the way of me posting Nazi shit. Everyone has a choice on Twitter. User and brand control on Twitter is superior to a year ago. Data wins over allegations. Media Matters do not reflect the user experience on Twitter. As we've seen in some parts of the world, when free expression is taken away, it is very dangerous and hard to get back. That's why the people who came before us fought so hard to protect. Salute the legacy of our brave GIs who fought in Normandy to protect us from the tyrannical politics of the people that I am now protecting on Twitter. Without freedom of speech, we lose the checks and balances critical to a thriving democracy. We must defend our individual rights as our lives and flourishing society depend on it. There are no shareholders for Twitter, Askarva. He owns it single-handedly. Again, I think it's incredibly funny how Twitter, how Elon Musk is like, we will not listen to the rambling of these activists. And then he gives this agenda-laden speech at the end, indicating that he is entirely motivated by his political positions and not by any like sort of exterior motive. Vosh, I've seen some chatters get weirdly mad about your take that companies don't like advertising next to Nazis. Yeah, I know that we spend a lot of our times online, but if you take a deep breath and go outside, you'll find that most Americans, and in fact most people that you engage with generally in your day-to-day life, don't like Nazis. And as a consequence of needing to appeal to those people, most corporations don't like the idea of being associated with Nazis. For basically as long as advertising has been a thing, the decision to run ads on a platform or on a media site carries with it an implicit endorsement of the content of that site. For example, if there was a TV channel that exclusively held like Nazi rallies and Nazi propagandizing or whatever, if Apple was to start running ads there, that would mean that they were giving money to that channel and the people who run it in exchange for the ability to advertise to the people who watch that kind of dreck. And most people don't like that. They think it's optically bad. So most people don't run ads on the Nazi channel or whatever. And that's basically what we're seeing here. I think that's a good thing, personally. I think that corporations not wanting to associate themselves with Nazis is actually an expression of their freedom. But that's just my humble opinion. I keep seeing Elon fanboys use the term legacy media outlets when talking about these reports. What gives? People who like tech fetishistic new media adjacent dipshits like Elon Musk like to believe that they're waging a war against traditional media with their stodgy corporate guidelines and their like censorship protocols or whatever. In reality, of course, Elon Musk constantly does like PR work for Russia, China, or the Saudis. He's as bought and paid for as anyone else. He just has a higher buying price than a lot of other like individuals on account of his net wealth. Oh, and the more far right types mean Jews. Whenever far right people, which includes Elon Musk, by the way, talk about any kind of like legacy institution or like institutions in general, I think honestly, they usually mean Jews. They don't have an issue with censorship. They just want to be the ones doing the censoring. You guys remember when Elon Musk took control of Twitter and there was a ban wave against journalists who reported on the fact that there was a person who was reporting on the movement of Elon Musk's private jet? Elon Musk literally did. He's done this multiple times where there have been like weird ban waves where people who were people who objectively have not violated any rules got banned, and it was almost always against left-leaning people. Meanwhile, he did a very public unbanning campaign of basically every far-right personality on the platform that had ever been banned. The head of the ADL was praising Elon Musk for saying that decolonization and from the river to the sea are genocidal euphemisms that violate terms of service. And cisgender is a slur. So yeah, cisgender is a slur. Decolonization and from the river to the sea are genocidal euphemisms, but he's pro freedom of speech. And the ADL, which is anti-Semitism, applauds him, even though he's currently undergoing an advertiser pullout because he was openly endorsing Nazi propaganda. Great stuff. Anyway, my official position on this is the classic, as your lawyer, I am encouraging you to keep posting this shit. I think it's great. This looks really bad for Elon Musk. One of the best things you can do to ingratiate yourself to advertisers, I feel, is to implicate all of them in a legacy media conspiracy and to accuse them of having been deceived by media matters whenever they make a decision to not advertise on your platform. They love that. They love that. They love that more than anything else. You know, they love that shit. So I think that's cool. That's really smart. And, you know, I think he should keep doing it. Oh, yeah, I saw this as well. Timcast is officially joining Seth Dillon and the Babylon Bee in their effort to support Twitter and Musk's efforts. Timcast.com will commit $250,000 towards ad buys on Twitter over the next few months. Oh my God. To the richest man in the world. 250,000 is nothing. No, of course it's nothing. It's purely a virtue signal. Remember, though, like, given how desperate Twitter is for advertiser dollars, it's probably going to, Benjamin, I swear to God, I'm going to ban you for a week. Why would you keep posting that? If you're going to keep spamming something, why of all things would it be pro-Apple propaganda? Okay? Jesus Christ. Remember how was it PragerU? PragerU spent $1 million to get a D-trans propaganda doc at the front of everyone's like recommended video for a day. Remember that? And man, that was so funny because they dropped $1 million on that, and I didn't see anybody talking about it. Anybody. Seriously. Like, I didn't see like it happened, and I watched it, and it was laughable, and I have not seen any conservatives reference it. You know, such a waste of time. Not a goddamn soul. Then post it once, Benjamin. Do you think they know it makes them look bad if you actually watch the documentary? I'm going to file this one under fascists are incapable of objectively analyzing blah, blah, blah. I'm going to file it under that again because, yeah, it was pretty bad. I don't really know. Share this lawsuit against Elon. Oh, yeah, this was a while ago. This was like 2 months ago. Yeah, I'm aware of this. Defamation lawsuit against Musk. I don't think anything will come of it. Defamation lawsuits are pretty tough. Hold on, let me close this and that. Because there are a lot of people watching, please remember that if you want to support good, high-quality content, go to another channel. But if you like this stuff, you should subscribe to the channel. Love you.